the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is a Tuesday, the 7th day of January for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports to get you up, get you going here this morning. It's a ratings day today. We got the latest in the AP College basketball polls for both the men and women. The NAIA football series came out with their final rankings. We'll tell you how some of the teams from the Great Plains Athletic Conference did in the final rankings. The Nebraska men's basketball team has a big game tonight on the road playing at Iowa. Nebraska will be looking for a new punter after Brian Bushnini has declared for the NFL draft. The UNK basketball games down at Fort Hays State scheduled for tonight have been postponed. We're going to have high school basketball for you tonight here on Extreme Sports as Hastings St. Cecilia will play Fillmore Central. A longtime Nebraska high school football coach has decided to step down. We'll tell you about that coming up. So a lot on the sports scene here today as we check in with Tyson over in the Western Studios. Good morning, Tyson.
And a good morning to you, Mike. And as we take a quick peek at some of the news headlines we'll be working on, we've got a big grant for the Crossroads mission over in Lexington. Hastings Public Library has got a exhibit that's going to be coming through here in this month of January. And we've got some pretty mind-numbing, staggering statistics from the Nebraska State Patrol. It's safe to say they had a very busy 2024 as they had their end-of-the-year stats that they released. So lots to get to on the news front, and of course we'll be talking sports and so much more, and not a whole lot to talk about really today with the Monday that was. You mentioned it. You had 4 episodes of Shark Tank.
Yeah,
yesterday. There was no sports on.
Yeah, no Monday Night Football last night for the first time in a long, long time. So I gave the wife the remote last night, and she blessed me with 4 episodes of Shark Tank, and then we went to bed. It was a very, very interesting night in the Will comfy
household.
Will household, the living room, wherever. Confines. 4 episodes of Shark Tank, and then it was night.
Not even like the good Shark Tank, like the arena that Hastings College played in, or the SAP Center where the San Jose Sharks played. This is like the
studio
entrepreneurship show.
Yeah, this is in the studio.
You a big fan?
I watch it, but 4 episodes is a little much.
That's a lot.
I like to watch. Like Mark Cuban is on there.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he owned a lot of the Dallas Mavericks. Now he sold like 51% or 49% of that team.
Yeah.
But he's still in control of the Dallas Mavericks. Lori Greiner, know her?
Yeah.
She's QVC. She's big on QVC. She's easy to look at.
Yeah, easy on the eyes.
Easy on the eyes. So I kind of like watching that. So yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it the rest of the week.
Right.
Which is a blessing because we got plenty of basketball coming your way. So I'll be blessed with that, and my wife can sit and watch dozens and dozens of episodes of Shark Tank tonight. So,
man,
that's what's going on. And
that's a lot.
Did you get into wrestling last night, or your friends got into wrestling, or what?
Yeah, that was the group chat. That was kind of basically what we had centered and put our focus on yesterday. Raw had their debut episode on wrestling. Okay, take that with this. I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I don't nerd out about wrestling. I don't like dress up as my favorite wrestler. I watched it back in the mid '90s when everybody did in the quote unquote attitude era. When it was kind of like fun to watch wrestling because you weren't quite sure what they were going to do next. Sure, when I was younger, I was a big fan. I've fallen off, and it's been a very long time. But I said, You know what? It's their debut episode on Netflix. I bet the production of it is going to bring back a lot of these like mid '90s stars from my youth and even before. And they did. They had everybody back, and including Hulk Hogan, who made a cameo
Really?
in Democratic Blue Los Angeles. He was not well received.
Was The Rock on there?
The Rock was on there. He came out right in the beginning. Only one they were missing was Stone Cold. Like in terms of like the big names that you remember, everybody else showed up. So
wow,
production value, it was actually really good. The wrestling and all of that aside, I could have taken a pass.
So
it was 3 hours. There was 4 matches, and it was like 3 hours. But
wow,
like, it was like an hour of pop and circumstance in between every single match. So
is this like a weekly series now on Netflix?
This is, as they say, the longest weekly episodic TV show in history. It went on for USA for years and years and years. So yeah, it's a weekly deal.
So every Monday night we can watch Raw on Netflix?
If you have nothing better to do, if you have no sports that are going on, a very similar situation to last night, you can get your entertainment. And here's the other thing that's weird about it. They have a 3-hour block that's dedicated to the show, but they don't have to use it. So, like, one episode could be 2 hours and 14 minutes. The next one, you're drinking the coffee at 10 p.m. at night because it's still going on. 3 hours is a long time for a wrestling show.
Yeah, I probably won't see any of those episodes. I guess there was a little sports on TV last night with North Dakota.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State played in the Division III championship. So technically, FCS. Yep. So technically, there was football on last night, and then we'll have football on next Monday. So with the NFL playoffs. The playoffs. Yeah, the playoffs are coming up this week.
I'd forgotten all about the FCS championship till the IT guy was like, "How come this didn't hit your TV guide this morning on the show?" And I'm like, "Because it literally was not on my TV guide. That's how I missed it. Because the FCS doesn't register on my TV guide."
Yeah, I don't even know what channel that was on.
I blew right by it.
Yeah.
So errors and omissions from yesterday's show. If you missed the North Dakota State game because it was not on my TV guide, I'm going to own up to that and make an apology.
One thing we didn't get to yesterday, which kind of broke over the weekend during the holidays, Nebraska and their special teams coordinator, Ed Foley.
Goodbye.
He's been fired by Matt Rule. He was a long-time assistant coach for Matt, even at his previous stops, and he moved on with Matt when Matt Rule came to Nebraska. Well, he got fired over the weekend, so Foley is out, and now the search for a new special teams coordinator is on. A lot of people are mentioning Bill Bush.
Okay.
Bill Bush was on the staff, I think, of Scotty Boy.
Yeah.
I think, then when Scott got fired, Bill Bush is still in Lincoln. He's doing a morning talk show in Lincoln.
Really?
A lot of people are mentioning him to maybe come back to take the special teams job. Evidently, under Scotty Boy, our special teams were pretty good, and Bill Bush was in charge of that, and they said Bill should get a chance with Matt Rule. So far, a lot of people are talking about it, but Matt has not made contact with Bill Bush yet.
Well, Matt's kind of got his own little contact circle.
Yeah.
He went to that well when he went to Coach Holgerson midway through the season and said, SOS, HELP, we need help. Otherwise, we're going to win 5 again. So, I don't know. I mean, I think you bring in a kind of a pool and then you make that determination. But I would at least bring him in to sit down and to see if you guys jive together.
Well, he'll have to wait until after his. He'll have to wait till after his morning show is over. He can't make like an 8 o'clock appointment.
Oh,
I think he's on. I think he's on till 10 or something.
Well, for God's sakes, go have a beer with him after work.
Yeah, he does what we do. He didn't have a job, so he got to a Lincoln radio station. Hey, let's start a morning talk show here. It's very similar to what we did.
Yeah.
Neither one of us were doing anything. We said, hey, let's just start a morning talk show, should we?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something that we didn't hit up yesterday when we got back to action. Again, we'll have high school basketball tonight. Hastings St. Cecilia will take on Fillmore Central. The St. Cecilia girls are 4-4 on the season. The boys are 0-8. as they try to get in the win column tonight. Game times will be at 6 and 7:30. We'll have the action for you from St. Cecilia, beginning with a pregame show at about 5:45 tonight. So the St. Cecilia girls, a few ups, a few downs so far this year at 4 and 4. The boys at 0 and 8. They got a tough road because they got Fillmore Central tonight, and then they've got Sandy Creek on Thursday night. Then they play at Lincoln Christian on Friday. So 3 games this week for the Hastings St. Cecilia boys and girls basketball teams. We'll catch up with the Hawkettes and the Blue Hawks tonight. The Chapman Gym, beginning at 5:45. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports.
Ryan Martin chiming in with the North Dakota State report. FCS game had quite the quarterback duel. Montana State came back in the second half to make it a 3-point game. North Dakota State won it on punting the ball with 10 seconds left, and time ran out as Montana State had tried to block the punt. So a rare gamble of punting for it instead of like running around in the backfield and then taking a knee or.
So they got the punt away, and then time expired.
And time expired.
Damn, that didn't hit my sports sheet today. I don't know why.
Yeah, it wasn't on my TV guide either. So, but Ryan Martin has us covered with the FCS report.
Yeah, if you'd like to chime in like Ryan just did, you can do that on Facebook Live or Twitch or wherever you're listening to us at. If you're watching us, that's great too. We got the cameras set up in each one of our studios, so you can watch us on Roku TV. If you'd like to chime in, you can do so. If you'd like to give us a call, we'd love that too. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. 402-834-1330. Whatever is on your mind, either sports related or not. Let's chat about it here this morning as we wake you up, get you going here the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports. Couple of coaching changes. The San Francisco 49ers have fired their special teams coach, Brian Schneider. The 49ers special teams were among the worst this year in the NFL. Schneider took over that job in 2022. He is gone. And also Clemson, they have fired their defensive coordinator in the last 24 hours, Wes Goodwin. The Tigers allowed 160.6 yards per game rushing this year, its worst performance since 2011. They allowed 292 yards rushing in their 38-24 loss to Texas in the first round of the college football playoffs. So the Niners have axed their special teams coach, and Clemson has given the walking papers to Wes Goodwin, who is their defensive coordinator. So a couple of coaching changes in the past 24 hours or so. NFL, we talked about it yesterday, Tyson, where the head coaches were going to go by the wayside yesterday. Only 2.
It wasn't that active of a Black Monday.
No. Usually it's a lot more active. In fact, last year I think a quarter of the coaches in the 32-team league got fired on the Monday after the season ended. Yesterday, only 2. That's New England and Jacksonville. But you see some of the rumors now going on. The Chicago Bears, who are looking for a head coach, has asked permission to talk with Mike McCarthy, who doesn't need a job, at least today. He's still the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
His contract runs through tomorrow. But the Bears,
tomorrow.
The Bears have already asked permission from Jerry Jones to talk with the head coach of the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, about maybe come over to coach the Bears.
And then, have you seen the Jets shortlist for their coaching?
Who wants that job?
Apparently, old ex-NFL coaches
that are
been out of the league. And okay, so you got Mike Vrabel. That's been at the top of, I think, a lot of people's shortlist. Vrabel's been interviewed. They interviewed Ramblin' Gamblin' Ron Rivera.
Oh, no.
From the Carolina Panthers and Washington Commanders lore. You got Brian Flores, who started that whole thing in Miami and with the Giants and was kind of the center of controversy there. Brian Flores is surfacing again. And then my favorite, Rex Ryan.
Well, that's one way to get him off of the ESPN kickoff show.
Rex Ryan could go back to the Jets?
He thinks he knows a lot. He talks a good game on the ESPN countdown to kickoff or whatever it is.
I like Rex. I mean, I like his brashness, but come on. I mean, he's been out of the... Where are all, like, other coaches? Where are the new guys, the young guys?
Like I said,
why
who-
do we keep resurfacing these old washed-up names?
But who wants the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to take over a job and you get fired in probably a couple of years.
Yeah, because you don't have the pieces around you, and
Aaron Rodgers probably is
20
going to
years
leave.
of built up bad drafting and trading.
A bad front office. Oh, they lost their. Didn't they get the general manager was fired too?
No, that whole operation.
Yeah,
was
so
just
the
blow up.
yeah. So would you go into something like that if you didn't know who your boss was going to be?
I mean, for the right money, I would.
You're going to get fired in 2 years,
It's okay. I am laughing all the way to the bank.
and that's probably what those guys are saying.
That's my mentality, and I would have that same mentality as a younger coach, too. I just don't get, and like again, I'll throw his name out there, and this one perplexes me with every single coaching search that comes along the way. Your former offensive coordinator, what is his deal? Does he not interview well? Do people just generally don't like him? Eric Bieniemy, I thought was a headset ready offensive coordinator. Make that transition. Got to work with Andy Reid. He must be the worst interview of all time.
Yeah. He's interviewed for a couple of head coaching jobs, not only in the NFL, but I think at college teams. He was out at, was he at UCLA? Yeah, he was at
Got the strap
UCLA.
after a year.
Well, after Nebraska played him.
Yeah.
Bieniemy got fired as the offensive coordinator at UCLA. He has
And they
not
won that
surfaced.
game.
Yeah, and they won the game, and he got fired. And his name really hasn't surfaced since then. I haven't seen him in anything that he's even being looked at by anybody. Yeah, he must be the worst interview ever.
Has to be, because his resume looks real good.
Yeah, and he's probably got
rings.
Andy Reid's endorsement as a
Think
coach.
so?
God, you would
I think
think.
so, but he never shows up on coaching searches.
Who knows? Who knows? He might pop up. There's a lot of teams now. I think the Saints are looking for a head coach. The Bears, the Jags, the Patriots. Who knows? He could pop up somewhere.
The best job as of this moment, before the Dallas job becomes available, you got to think the best, like, ready to make that next step job has got to be Jacksonville, right? You got your
they played.
quarterback showed up.
Yeah, they played well at the end of the season. They were horrible at the beginning of the season. You were on them most of the year,
It was.
and you said they was the worst team in the NFL, and then all of a sudden they caught fire toward the end. And you became a big fan of Jacksonville. In fact, I got a Jacksonville sweatshirt that I wear on occasion, only because I won it at some raffle or some fundraiser that I was at once, and I won this Jacksonville sweatshirt. That was back when they were horrible. I told my wife, she said, "Why do you want that shirt?" I said, "They're going to be good someday.
Someday.
Someday they're going to be good." And then they drafted what's his face,
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. And I said, "Hey, see, they're going to be good someday."
Someday.
I'm still waiting.
Still. Yeah.
I better hurry because the sweatshirt is getting smaller and smaller for some reason.
How does that work?
I don't know, but
Well, yeah, you threw it in the wash too many times.
it's
That's right.
getting tighter. It's getting
Yeah.
tighter.
See, that's what happens when you throw it in the wash too many times.
That's what I told my
That's
wife.
why I don't wash a lot of clothes. Next thing, Jacksonville though, like back to the point that they're ready to make that next leap. This draft class that's upcoming has so much good talent. Like where Jacksonville needs to draft in the trenches, build some protection for Trevor Lawrence, get one or two more pass rushers. That are going to wreak havoc on the opposing quarterbacks and give your playmakers an actual opportunity to make plays. I think Jacksonville is the most ready to flip team in the NFL and is the most lucrative coaching position available.
So who's got the number one drafting position?
It would
After
be Tennessee, right?
Tennessee, I think, after last week.
Because New England was in the driver's seat. New England, all they had to do was lose to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't have been that hard, but Buffalo played their subs. New England apparently was playing for pride. They decided to win the game,
Which took him out of the number one
which
drafting
took them out of the
position.
number one draft pick. Tennessee was so desperate to get the number 1 pick that they re-put Will Levis back into the game. Like, you're desperate to get the number 1 pick when you have benched Will Levis and then put him back in the game. Like, nothing says you suck at your job like patting your quarterback on the back and you go lose us this game. We're turning the keys to you. Go lose us this game.
Yeah, because we went to the number 1.
And he did it.
I think Cleveland was in that position until they won a couple of weeks ago. So I think Cleveland was in the position to get the number 1 drafting position, but they won a couple of weeks ago. So that screwed them.
Like, how many teams are just bad? If you're bad,
go out and lose.
If you're bad, tank. Like that's the NBA does it really well.
They do it all the time.
Do it to perfection.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders at one point, I thought were in the driver's seat, and they decided to go rattle off 3 straight wins. I'm like, no, like if you're this bad, you might as well suck, and you might as well get the number 1 pick. But yeah, a couple of teams playing for pride down the stretch, taking them out of the number 1 pick. So Tennessee Titans got to think that they actually draft a quarterback, right? Like Will Levis is not your man for the future.
Is that all they got?
Yeah. Will Levis and Mason Rudolph.
Oh, God.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, they need a quarterback. Or maybe Aaron Rodgers will end up there. Aaron Rodgers could end up there.
That's gross.
Well, it could.
Aaron Rodgers, just start your own podcast with McAfee. Live out your dreams, spreading your Ayahuasca love.
He'll head off to his little dark room, and he'll come up with a big decision here in a couple of weeks. So, anxiously waiting for that.
I am not holding my breath. Let's just say that.
7:21, you're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, we'd love to have you join us today. Drop us a message either on Facebook Live or Twitch, wherever you're listening to us at this morning. Maybe give us a call, 402-834-1330. We'd love to chat with whatever is on your mind here today, either sports-related or not. We'll certainly get to that. 7:22, let's get our first update on news this morning on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union is proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join. And joining? That's pretty simple. Even I can do it. It's just opening a primary savings account. It's committed to providing the highest level of quality services. The credit union provides banking services to all those living or working in Adams, Clay, Webster, Nuckolls, Thayer, and Fillmore counties. And with affordable loan rates, mobile banking, and a friendly staff that treats you like family, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Got some stats from the Nebraska State Patrol as they had another busy year. Nebraska State troopers stopping their fair share of vehicles with meth inside, collecting over 320 pounds of meth, 92 pounds of cocaine, 53 pounds of fentanyl, and over 1,000 units of oxycodone. The State Patrol also had another increase in DUI arrests, over 20% over the previous year, with over 1,370 DUIs on Nebraska roadways. And speeding numbers even more insane. More than 1,100 drivers were caught going over 100 miles per hour or faster. And yes, that averages to be about 3 100-mile-per-hour speeders caught by troopers every single day last year across the state. Sad part is we know there's more. Grand Island Police Department also removed 40 impaired drivers off the streets during their Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over campaign. The grant period resulting in 27 DUIs and another 13 driving under the influence of drug arrests. From December 11th through January 1st, Grand Island Police Department officers conducted a total of 879 traffic stops. We head back to H-Town, where the Hastings Public Library is hosting a portion of the Remembering Our Fallen photographic war memorial. It's on display from today through January 21st. The powerful exhibit, curated by the organization of the same name, honors the lives and sacrifices of military service members from Nebraska who gave their lives in service to our country during the global war on terror. In addition to the memorial, the Hastings Public Library will also host a presentation titled Tribute to Our Fallen on January 15th. Director of Nebraska Veterans Affairs, John Hilgert, will speak on the meaning of the military, the impact of service, and war on families, and honor those that serve deserve. Meanwhile, PetSmart continues to expand, opening a new store in Grand Island, located at 1529 Conestoga Drive. To celebrate the all-new location, PetSmart is hosting a grand opening event. This is coming up on at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Pet parents and their pets invited to visit the new store and receive a prepackaged goodie bag. And Crossroads Mission has recently been awarded $1.5 million to help build a homeless shelter in Lexington. The shelter will go in the same building where the thrift store now sits. The project will provide 20 units of transitional housing for those who are participating in the Crossroads Recovery Program. It is now 7:26. We'll spin things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, Tennessee continues to lead the AP Men's College Basketball poll. The Volunteers are 14-0 on the season. Auburn is second, followed by Iowa State, Duke, and Alabama. Rounding out the top 10 are Kentucky, Marquette, Florida, UConn, and Texas A&M. UCLA leads the women's poll. South Carolina is second, followed by Notre Dame, USC, and Texas. National champion Grandview of Iowa is ranked number 1 in the final NAIA football coaches poll of the season. National runner-up Kaiser of Florida is ranked number 2. Morningside is 3rd. Northwestern is 7th. Concordia tied for 18th. And Dordt is number 20. The Nebraska men's basketball team will play at Iowa tonight. The Huskers are 12-2 on the season, 2-1 in the Big Ten. The Hawkeyes are 10-4. They are 1-2 in the league. Tip-off will be at 7. You'll be able to see it tonight on Peacock. Nebraska punter Brian Bushnini has declared for the NFL draft. He entered his Nebraska career with a punting average of 43.1, the 5th highest in school history. The basketball games involving Nebraska Kearney and Fort Hays State, scheduled for tonight, have been postponed. The games will be made up on February 26th. The Lopers will play at Emporia State on Saturday. The Hastings St. Cecilia basketball teams will battle Fillmore Central tonight at the Chapman Gym. The St. Cecilia girls are 4-4 in the season. The boys are 0-8. Game times will be at 6 and at 7:30. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. Longtime Nebraska high school football coach Glenn Snodgrass has announced his decision to step down as the York head football coach. Snodgrass spent 14 seasons with the Dukes. He finishes his coaching career with a record of 189-87, which also includes some time coaching at Overton. Snodgrass won a state championship with York in 2017 and with Overton in 2006. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. 7:28 now at Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Tuesday, we're starting off on a chilly note once again, as the morning will bring us temperatures in the single digits. Today, we'll have more clouds warming up to about the mid-teens. It'll be breezy as well, north-northwest winds 5 to 10, with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. 5 below the overnight low tonight. Wednesday, sunshine returns, a high of 26. Wednesday night, 11 degrees, 35 on Thursday, 17 Thursday night, and as we head into the weekend, 20s and 30s.
Right now in Hastings, winds out of the north at about 8, producing a wind chill of 2 above. We've got mostly clear skies, some high clouds just now. 9 above in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik with you on this Tuesday morning as we get you up and get you going, 7:33 now. Again, thanks for listening to us, whether you're on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, we're everywhere you are. So thanks for joining us. Again, leave us a message if you'd like. Better yet, give us a call, 402-834-1330. That's the number to call if you'd like to join us on discussion, whether sports-related or not. So that's the way we start our day here, 7 until 8, Tuesday morning here.
33 minutes after 7 o'clock, and today, on this very special day, January 7th, I present my good buddy Paul to you. Paul Goldschmidt, bobblehead. It is National Bobblehead Day today.
Really?
As we celebrate. I have a pretty decent collection of bobbleheads sitting in my office over at CCC, from Whitey Herzog to David Justice to a few of the baseball players that I've gotten. As you make enough baseball trips, Major League Baseball trips, you're bound to run into a bobblehead day or two, free souvenirs that the ballparks give out. Now, I will say this. I mean, yes, in my possession, I have 3 bobbleheads. Have I been to more bobblehead days? Absolutely. But if I go to a stadium, just to go to the stadium, like me and my friend, we like to make baseball trips to parks that we haven't been to before.
Yeah.
And, you know, for instance, Target Field in Minneapolis. Neither one of us are Twins fans, But we wanted to go see a game in Minneapolis, so we picked a series and we went, and we didn't really have any rooting interest. We just went to the ballpark. It happened to be Harmon Killebrew bobblehead day, and there's a thing about bobblehead days and baseball games. It's the middle of the summer. I'm typically dressing light. I don't have a significant other, so there's no purse that's available. So I got no place to really store the bobblehead. I like to go around and find a kid or a family and like, hey, did you guys get a bobblehead? Here, you have a new bobblehead, and give out the bobblehead.
Only because you don't want to walk around with this thing in your hand all afternoon or all night.
Listen, it frees up a beer hand. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that. But.
Yeah. There's mathematics that's involved, and if I could have a free beer hand, all the better at a Major League Baseball game. So no, I'm not walking around with the bobbleheads. But the Paul Goldschmidt one was pretty significant. It was me and my dad's baseball trip, and had the City Connect jerseys on there, which were, I don't know, I thought could have been done a hell of a lot better by St. Louis anyways. Paul Goldschmidt, obviously playing his last year in 2024 as a Cardinal, now a member of the New York Yankees. So we hung on to this one because of the significance of the trip.
I think I have one, I guess you could call it a bobblehead. It's a Christmas ornament of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, there you go.
That's the only bobblehead, and it's really not a true bobblehead. It's a Christmas ornament. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a Patrick Mahomes, and he is now safely stashed away in the box until later on this year.
A mini bobblehead.
Yeah, it's a mini bobblehead. Yep. So I really don't have an actual bubble. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, the racer. Yeah, NASCAR racer. Yes, I do have a bobblehead. Yes, I do. Now that I think about it. I've got it here in my office.
I'm learning new things. I didn't know that NASCARs had bobbleheads.
Yes. Kyle Busch had a bobblehead, and I forgot where – actually, my grandson picked it up for me, so I think it must have been at, I don't know, maybe Kansas during the fall race that I didn't go to. Wow. I go to the spring race. It might have been at the fall race, but anyway, he picked me.
Souvenir.
Yeah, got me a souvenir. Usually I should get my grandson a souvenir. No. He's getting Papaw souvenirs. He brought me a Kyle Busch bobblehead.
The grandson's doing quite well for himself. He's able to get Papa a souvenir.
What else? What else is going on today for this lovely day?
Dude, that's it. I mean, there was another day that has to do with a dish, but I could not pronounce it. And if I can't pronounce it, then it doesn't exist. Like, those are my rules. And so I didn't even want to try to murder that.
So like a dish that you would eat?
Oh, let me pull it up and we'll try to spell this out. See if there's
this will show your ignorance because it might be something easy.
More civilized people out there. Hang on, here we go. Tempura Day. Tempura.
Is that food?
Tempura.
Wow, never heard of that.
Thank you.
I would have bypassed that too.
Temp. Let's see if it's got any additional info. With a dish made with tempura batter. Oh, it's a Japanese seafood with vegetables dipped in batter or deep fry. Oh, you can deep fry it?
No, I wouldn't eat that. That's Japanese food.
Tempura. It looks like some shrimp and then raw fish and a little dab of green goo and a couple of dry cookies. That's
IT guy checking in. He says it's a Japanese dish. We know that. We've got that figured out. We just know how to pronounce it.
Tempura. Yeah. See? So that's why I bypassed that one. Ryan Martin talking about his bobblehead collection. You might know. It's all Royals. George Brett, Salvi, Bobby Witt Jr., and the Jayhawk bobblehead for the Jayhawks mascot.
We haven't heard a lot of the Kansas basketball team here lately.
How they doing?
They're not in the top 10.
Uh-oh.
They're not in the top 10. And remember, they had a stretch that they lost a couple of games in a row.
Yeah.
And Ryan
Martin. They also
Martin
had that stretch where they blew through all of the North Carolina teams.
Yeah, that was early.
That was way early.
So we haven't heard a lot from Ryan Martin.
Is that your subtle?
Now he's chiming in on this Japanese dish. It's a Tupperware brand.
Wait.
No, that ain't right.
No.
It's a Japanese dish. I'll go with that.
Tupperware? I didn't know Tupperwares came in brands. I thought they were just Tupperware.
Yeah, Tupperware.
Temperware.
Yeah, Ryan Martin says it's got to do with something.
Temperware is a Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Right?
God. How do we get on this discussion?
Because you asked me what other day it was besides Bobblehead Day. And I told you that I wasn't going to go there.
I guess if I asked the question,
lead to this.
Yeah.
Ask stupid questions, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Well, somebody might know. Somebody might know. Anyway, tonight the Nebraska men's basketball team, they got a big game at Iowa. Huskers are 12-2 in the season, 2-1 in the Big Ten. The Hawkeyes 10-4, 1-2 in the league. Head coach Fred Hoiberg says the Hawkeyes will be tough.
Iowa's second in the nation in scoring. They're so potent in their attack. They've always got 5 guys on the floor that can make a play and make a shot. They don't turn it over. They do a really good job of finding the hot hand, and they run a lot of very random type action. So it's a hard game to prep for just because of all the different things that they do, to keep you moving. And it's one of the best ball movement, player movement team that we'll face all year. And we got it handed to us in their building last year in a similar win, an emotional win at home, and then we did not respond well. We have to be better this game if we want to have any chance. And it was the start. They were up 17-2 on us. We did a good job coming back. I think we had it tied, maybe even took a 1-point lead in the second half, and then they got really hot. They're really hard to shut off if you let them get comfortable and let them get confident. So this is a game we have to go out and get off to a good start. I anticipate them, coming out all over the place with what happened in their last one, similar to what happened to us against Michigan State. So, it's an important game. All these conference games are, and we're going to try to go out and continue to play confident basketball, unselfish basketball, and hopefully give ourselves a chance.
And the coach says the Huskers will have to be ready from the opening tip.
If you're not ready to go in this one, their pace, the way they get the ball off the floor, if your first 3 steps aren't with urgency, it's going to be a really long night of basketball. And, again, I think Iowa's got their talent on the offensive end is as good as anybody, not only in the league but in the country. And you look at the games they've played. They had Iowa State down double digits. I think Iowa State might be the best team in the country right now. You look at what at Michigan after they got off to a slow start. Had a chance to win it. They had a shot at the buzzer to win the game. Knocking off Northwestern at home as well. So this team is really good. You don't look at what happened in the last one. They're going to bounce back with a lot of fire, and we better be ready for it.
So the Huskers and the Hawkeyes tonight, 7 o'clock starting time. You'll be able to see it on Peacock. Huskers were in a very similar situation last year. Remember, we picked up the big win over Purdue. I think they were ranked number 1 at the time. Fans stormed the court in Lincoln. Then the next game, we went and played at Iowa and got smoked. Got smoked by the Hawkeyes. So very similar situation. The Huskers picking up a big win over the weekend over nationally ranked UCLA, and now they go on the road tonight. Very similar situation. The Huskers better be ready because the Hawkeyes will be ready. You'll be able to see it tonight, 7 o'clock on Peacock.
There you go, 7 o'clock, Nebraska, Iowa on a streaming service. Can't think of any better place to watch Nebraska than a streaming service. It's a big night for college hoops. Can I get into this a little bit?
Go ahead.
Duke, 4th-ranked Duke, 12-2. They're taking on Pittsburgh tonight. Pittsburgh also sitting at 12-2. Duke is at home and is a 14.5 point favorite in that matchup against the Panthers. Big battle in the SEC on ESPN2. Tennessee, top-ranked team in the country, 14-0. Dueling the 8th-ranked Florida Gators tonight at 13-1. And then another SEC battle, Kentucky, Georgia. They're squaring off. Kentucky's on the road. They are a 2.5 point favorite. Marquette has Georgetown, who has apparently resurged. They are back to a 12-2 start. Georgetown, they fell on some rough times. They're back to 12-2. They're taking on Marquette tonight. We got Auburn and Texas and Michigan and UCLA. So you're not without good college basketball tonight in the top 25.
Shark Tank would not even get a look tonight.
Shark Tank is probably going to be shelved for the night.
No, I'll have basketball, so my wife, again, will be in control of the TV. I think this is a big night for all the ambulance and cop shows that are on.
Tuesday.
Yeah, she'll be watching
Tuesdays
those.
and Thursdays.
we mentioned that Glenn Snodgrass, who's been around for quite some time, he spent 14 seasons at York, and I think 13 or 14 seasons at Overton. He is stepping down as the head football coach of the York Dukes. Finishes with a career record of 189 and 87. He won a state championship with York in 2017 and with Overton in 2006. We crossed paths with him a number of times. Hastings High had York on their schedule for many years, and we wish him well, whatever he's got in mind. But Glenn Snodgrass giving up coaching, at least for now, at York.
One of the good guys in Class B, and as you know, covering Class B football with me for a number of years, Mike. You get those guys where you know what team is gonna take the field before you even take a look at the athletes, and I think York was kind of in that boat. You could throw Kevin Stein in there with Northwest and all the athletes he's got and his aerial attack, because they like to throw the pig around there in Viking Field. But York was one of those teams that had 3 or 4 guys in the backfield, a very physical and punishing offensive line, and that's the kind of game you knew you were getting into. Like 14-6 duels with Glenn Snodgrass, defense, running the ball possession. Number of good stories with Glenn over the years, and with my time with Northwest and hanging out on the sidelines and getting to chat up with him, and just one of the good guys in football. Going to be stepping away over there in York. So wish him the best moving forward, and salute to you as a great career over there on the east side.
Nebraska punter Brian Bushnini entering the NFL draft.
Why not?
Yeah, I guess if I was as good as he is, he averaged 43.1 yards per punt in his career, the 5th highest in school history. He was a walk-on kid at Wyoming, and then transferred to Nebraska and really hit it off with the Huskers. He did a great job, but he's going to pursue a chance of maybe playing in the NFL. He says if he gets drafted, fine. If he signs as a free agent, fine. If not, he's got an accounting degree, and he'll just go to work in the real world. He's all right with any one of those choices.
Good with numbers. I have a love-hate relationship with how good our punter was this year. I mean, I'm really glad he was a good punter. I was really sick of seeing him on the field.
Yeah, he got plenty of playing time.
Yeah, plenty of TVs, plenty of cameras, plenty of exposure. Had a couple really good. There's a couple games where he was the MVP. Face it, for Nebraska, he was the MVP. He switched in the field, giving us an opportunity. But you never want your punter to be the player of the game, and in many cases he was. So, you hope for a better offense next year. You hope we don't need the services of Brian Bushnini next year, and wish him well in his search for NFL draft. I can't imagine the punter field is too deep in the draft pool.
But being a punter, being a field goal kicker in the NFL, I think that's tough going. Look at all the guys.
Life.
Yeah, look at all the guys that are running around, even like in our fantasy football league. Mm-hmm. If you need a kicker each and every week, you can probably find a kicker that's going to be in the starting lineup. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, your shelf life is so small.
Yeah, you miss a couple of field goals in critical situations, or you bang a couple of punts out of bounds for 20 yards, you're gone.
There's 500 kickers out there.
Yeah.
And the coach's mentality is, what have you done for me lately? And we cannot have these games come down to kickers and special teams. And, you screw up, goodbye, good night.
So, Brian Bushnini, at least he's got an accounting degree, and he says if the NFL doesn't come about, that he's perfectly satisfied with entering the real world, and he'll go work for some big accounting firm somewhere. So anyway, Brian Bushnini.
What a drastic change of pace.
Yeah, be a Husker punter,
from the
and
NFL
then
lifestyle to
sitting behind a desk.
God.
On your computer all day. Crunch numbers. As long as he's crunching my numbers, that's good.
Crunching our numbers, putting them in the black, please.
Yeah, it's a tax time again.
Figure me out a way, finagle this so I don't have to pay the government for oh God, that's going to be a disaster. I just remember to have like 9 million jobs, and trying to figure out tax time is going to be a lot of fun.
Do you do it on your own, or do you get the?
Hell no. No.
You just take it to a tax man.
I say,
Dad.
Here's the things. Here's the sheets. Figure me out the best possible scenario. And most of the time they go, well, got bad news for you.
There's no way to work around this.
I can't do this because you decided to work 5 million jobs, and a couple of those involve tips, and yeah, it doesn't.
So you take it to somebody?
I do my best to take it to somebody.
Yeah, I do that too. I put everything in a little manila envelope, drop it off, said, here you go, call me when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Call me when it's done. Now, since we got the business, he just does it all.
Right.
I drop off one package and then 2 packages and call me when it's done. Let me know if I got bad news. Let me know if we can still be on the air tomorrow. God. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It is a Tuesday morning, the 7th day of January for 2025. Yeah, I know we got to work the entire week this week. I wonder how people, when they got back to work yesterday, how they were feeling. The people that have been off for like 2 weeks.
My favorite meme that I saw yesterday on social media was a scene from Seinfeld, the George Costanza scene when he's got the job for the New York Yankees. His boss comes down the hallway. Good morning, George. And he's like, good morning, sir. And the minute that his boss heads into his office, George Costanza just crawls under his desk for the rest of the day. And they're like, me coming back after the holiday weekend. And I'm like, that's so true. He's just like, yeah.
I drove by like Hastings High yesterday. I was heading out north for something. I just kind of chuckled.
Are they back?
Yeah, they're back. They were back yesterday. I just kind of chuckled on the way by. Everybody's back at work.
I don't have to be back till the 13th. We got an additional week.
Yeah, colleges are kind of on a weird schedule.
I'm loving it. Like, well, Hastings College has got like the January term.
Well, they got like block scheduling. I don't know when they get back, but I don't think they're back yet.
There's like the January term for Hastings College, which I loved, by the way. J term was my favorite of the year because you actually got to like pick something that you were.
Oh yeah, that's when they go do weird things.
Yeah, weird things. I chose to like cover Tri-City Storm and Nebraska women's basketball. I took a sports reporting J term, and it served me well. But moving on, like. You got the J term at Hastings College, but over at CCC, we don't have that January term, so we just kind of like pick things back up mid-January. But that's a whole month off. I mean, I've loved it, don't get me wrong, but it's been like a month off, and like I just hope I remember my deadlines to get these classes published and don't forget where my office is.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, it'll be a weird get back. After the long layoff.
So,
I'm sort of like Timmy Boy was. I don't know up from down or what day it is. I just kind of show up and keep working.
Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing. All right, 7:53. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
And local news this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and it's community that is at the heart of everything they do. With a convenient drive-up, 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We start off with some end-of-the-year stats from the Nebraska State Patrol as they had another busy year. Nebraska State troopers stopped their fair share of vehicles with drugs inside, collecting over 320 pounds of meth, 92 pounds of cocaine, 53 pounds of fentanyl, and over 1,000 units of oxycodone. The State Patrol also saw an increase in DUI arrests in 2024, over a 20% increase than 2023. 1,370 DUI arrests by the Nebraska State Patrol, and speeding numbers even more insane. More than 1,100 drivers were caught going 100 miles per hour or faster. That averages out to about 3 100-mile-per-hour or faster speeders caught by troopers every single day last year across the state. Meanwhile, the Grand Island Police Department removed 40 impaired drivers off the streets during their latest Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over campaign. Grant period resulting in 27 driving under the influence of alcohol arrests and another 13 for driving under the influence of drugs. The campaign only ran from December 11th through January 1st. Grand Island Police Department officers conducted a total of 879 traffic stops. The Hastings Public Library is hosting a portion of the Remembering Our Fallen photographic war memorial. It'll be on display from now until January 21st. The exhibit, curated by the organization of the same name, honors the lives and sacrifices of military service members from Nebraska who gave their lives in service to our country during the global war on terror. In addition to the memorial, the Hastings Public Library is also hosting a presentation titled Tribute to Our Fallen. This coming up on January 15th, where Director of Nebraska Veterans Affairs, John Hilgert, will speak. And finally, Crossroads Mission has recently been awarded nearly $1.5 million to help build a new homeless shelter in Lexington. The shelter will go in the same building where their thrift store now sits. The project will provide 20 units of transitional housing for those participating in the Crossroads Recovery Program. It's now 7:55. Back to the east side we go. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, Tennessee continues to lead the AP Men's College Basketball poll. The Volunteers are 14-0 in the season. Auburn is second, followed by Iowa State, Duke, and Alabama. Rounding out the top 10 are Kentucky, Marquette, Florida, UConn, and Texas A&M. UCLA leads the women's poll. South Carolina is second, followed by Notre Dame, USC, and Texas. National champion Grandview of Iowa is ranked number 1 in the final NAIA football coaches poll of the season. National runner-up Kaiser of Florida is ranked number 2. Morningside is 3rd, Northwestern 7th, Concordia tied for 18th, and Dordt is number 20. The Nebraska men's basketball team will play at Iowa tonight. Huskers are 12-2 in the season, 2-1 in the Big Ten. The Hawkeyes are 10-4, 1-2 in the league. Tip-off at 7. You'll be able to see it on Peacock. Nebraska punter Brian Bushnini has declared for the NFL draft. He ended his Nebraska career with a punting average of 43.1, the 5th highest in school history. The basketball games involving Nebraska Kearney and Fort Hays State, scheduled for tonight, have been postponed. The games will be made up on February 26th. The Lopers will play at Emporia State on Saturday. Hastings St. Cecilia basketball teams will battle Fillmore Central tonight at the Chapman Gym. The St. Cecilia girls are 4-4 in the season. The boys are 0-8. Game times will be at 6 and at 7:30. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. Longtime Nebraska high school football coach Glenn Snodgrass has announced the decision to step down as the York head football coach. Snodgrass spent 14 seasons with the Dukes. He finishes his career with a record of 189-87, which also includes time coaching at Overton. Snodgrass won a state championship with York in 2017 and with Overton in 2006. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning at 7:58.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Tuesday, we're starting off on a chilly note once again, as the morning will bring us temperatures in the single digits. Today we'll have more clouds warming up to about the mid-teens. It'll be breezy as well, north-northwest winds 5 to 10, with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. 5 below the overnight low tonight. Wednesday sunshine returns, a high of 26. Wednesday night 11 degrees, 35 on Thursday, 17 Thursday night, and as we head into the weekend, 20s and 30s.
We've got north winds this morning at 8 miles per hour, producing a wind chill of +2. It's actually 9 above here this morning at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Conant Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Urbanic with you. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports here for this Tuesday. Again, tonight we'll have a high school basketball for you. The high school teams get back into action and get back on the floor after their Christmas break for a lot of these teams. It'll be Hastings St. Cecilia and Fillmore Central tonight at the Chapman Gym. The girls' game will go at 6. The boys at about 7:30 on the air with a pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. The Hawkettes 4-4 in the season. The Blue Hawks still be looking for their first win of the season tonight. They are 0-8. So St. Cecilia, Fillmore Central tonight on Extreme Sports, 5:45 this afternoon.
All right, well, be the good luck charm from my Hawks. Get me my first win on the boys' side of things for my alma mater. I'll be plenty busy tonight on the TV guide, as you mentioned. Nebraska and Iowa, 7 o'clock on Peacock. Of course, might double dip. Got Blues and Wild hockey matchup tonight. Big matchup in the Western Conference. Your big one, 6 p.m., Tennessee and Florida. Top 10 battle there in SEC basketball. And then later on this afternoon, 2 o'clock for all you English football fans out there, Arsenal and Newcastle squaring off in the first leg of the Carabao Cup. They are out the semifinal stage now between Newcastle and Arsenal, and then Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. They are the second semifinal leg that goes tomorrow.
So 2 o'clock this afternoon, we've got soccer
on ESPN.
And then tomorrow, the other semifinal game.
The other semifinal. And then they play again in February. I like how they do this. They flip home sites, and they take the aggregate score. So if you win 4-1 today and win 3-2 tomorrow, you win 7-3 overall.
That's stupid.
It's actually quite brilliant.
And then
aggregate score.
So then they move on. What happens if, like, they split?
Then they go to extra time.
Like one team wins 4-3 one day, and then the other team wins 4-3 the next day.
They go to extras.
Really?
Extra time. Another 90 or 60 minutes of soccer followed by a penalty shootout if there's still time. Boy, some big times today on ESPN. They're going to party across the pond in England. It's a good time.
I can see what you're going to be doing today. Nothing.
I work today, so.
Nothing. You're working today?
Working tonight, yep.
That's
Vinyl night tonight. Bring your vinyls to First Street Brewing Company, and we'll spin them and drink some beer.
That's good.
It's actually a lot of fun.
All right. Well, we'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to listen to this show again, you can. Just go to Roku TV and download the replay, the podcast there. All of our social media sites, you'll find a podcast. You can listen to this show again in its entirety. A reminder to like us on Facebook. That's where you get all the latest information about Extreme Sports, our broadcast schedule, and neat things going on throughout the day. So if you'd like to keep up to date on what's going on in the sports scene, like our Facebook page. That's where you're going to get all the latest information. Again, thanks for joining us here for Extreme Sports and Huddle Up on this Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
You've been listening to Huddle Up